Okay, guys, I'm here for a different kind of video than normal because this is going to be a video game review. I don't review video games too much because I don't play a lot of video. I don't play every video game that comes out in a year. So generally, I will only review games I've actually bought and have actually played. So in this case, I'm going to do a review about Marvel's Avengers, which came out on September the 4th. Although if you had to look, it came out September the 1st. Uh, Now, how I handle a video game review is very simple. I'm going to just judge it on the game I played and if I think it's worth the price of asking for it. But I will also look at certain things like how the game looks, it plays like that, and stuff like that. Uh, and it's not going to be, and also, if it'll be my pure, honest opinion. So, Marvel Avengers. Let's get the biggest thing about this game out of the way first. This game is a game as a service game. It's basically a game like Fortnite, Anthem, Destiny, stuff like that. That can be its biggest hindrance, but that's probably its biggest hindrance because it's meant to be a multiplayer title, which is fine. But it doesn't have local multiplayer. It only has online multiplayer, which means that if you want just to get four of your friends around the same PS4 and play this game, you can't do that. You need your own PS4 or Xbox or whatever you're playing it on. You need your own system, your own account, and others, your own account plus obviously your own copy of the game. Now, me and my three cousins, if we were to do online play with each other, I can't. All three of us can't do that right now because one of my cousins, his PS4 has died and he hasn't had a chance to replace it yet. So I've been playing everything in single player. Even a multiplayer mission, I've been playing in single player, and I am having fun doing it. When it comes to that aspect, I'm having fun doing this daily and weekly challenges for each of the six Avengers already in there. And that brings me, before I get into everything else, that brings me to the monetization of this game. The post-launch character challenge cards, which is a thing that you can get the daily and weekly challenges from. And how you have to pay $10 for them. Not for the character, but for the battle, but for its challenge card, which is a pure cosmetic anyway. Everything on there is mostly cosmetics. In fact, I think they all are cosmetics. It's mostly costumes, and I think maybe some emotes and nameplates. So, but again, these games for life or games as a live service, they have to make money somehow. And if you're going to give all your characters away for free, then you have to get money somewhere else. So it would obviously be that. So now I'll get into the. So honestly, it doesn't bother me too much because you can earn all that stuff by playing the game anyway. So I can see where people would have an issue with it. But to me, now I will tell you this: the only kind of microtransaction that I am ever against is microtransactions that physically lock you out from playing the game, like playing any part of it. Like, say you need a specific item and you have to buy that item to continue the game. That is a microtransaction I am actually opposed to. But microtransactions that are entirely optional, that you can get the stuff you need by playing the game, is perfectly, it's optional there. Because, gaming companies have to make money. And if you want a game to have a longer lifespan than, say, the first 3 or 4 months past release, past when you're done with all the DLC and whatnot, you have to find some other way for it to make money. That's just the way it is. So, anyway, now on to the actual gameplay part of this game. I'll start with the campaign, the single-player campaign, which is this game's strong suit. Now, is it cliche? Yeah, it's a very cliche story that you would probably get out of the first X-Men film, and stuff like that. But it is still a good story. I especially like Kamala Khan as our protagonist for this main campaign. I think she's very likable. I mean, yeah, okay, she's a Marvel fangirl, but if most people met a real-life superhero that they like and whatnot, they'd probably fanboy or fangirl out anyway. But now, what I don't know is she like that in her comic? I don't read comics. The only stuff I've had about Kamala Khan slash Miss Marvel in recent memory about this Miss Marvel is this game and Ultimate Alliance 3. And I think she's a really interesting character in both those games. And obviously, it'll make her Disney Plus show more interesting. It'll make her Disney Plus show more interesting. I like the dynamic that Miss Marvel, that Kamala Khan gets with Bruce Banner, and how she essentially is the one who brings all the Avengers back together after being outlawed because of the events of A-Day. Which, now this is not an MCU game because, well, MODOK is in it, and MODOK's not been in the MCU yet. But I do know that most of the characters, however, have been in some fashion in the MCU. But, this should not be their MCU counterparts. I think originally they looked like their MCU counterparts, but unless you actually physically got the MCU counterpart to voice the character, that would be just weird. But I do wish that anyone who voices Black Widow would at least try a Russian accent. Even Scarlett Johansson doesn't do it. And, it's one of the biggest things about Black Widow's character is that, she was a Russian spy. And so a Russian accent would be nice. That's a small nitpick about that. But the combat in this game basically works the same way as in Ultimate Alliance 3 in terms of you have a light and a heavy attack button. And each attack has a basic 3-hit combo. You get a 3-hit combo for light attacks and a 3-hit combo for heavy attacks. Now, online, the first two games also had, the trip stun pop-up combos, which added some interesting stuff into that combat system. You also have 3 powers: a left power, a right power, and a middle power. Your left power and your right power are your heroic powers, and your main and your middle power is your ultimate heroic ability. Activated if you're on PS4 with R1, L1, and R1, and I'm assuming on Xbox would probably be the right trigger and the left trigger together. I don't have an Xbox. I do have a Nintendo. I have a PS4 and Nintendo Switch. So any video game I ever do will come from either be a Switch game or a PS4 game, because that's the only systems I have right now. So yeah, the campaign is a little bit short compared to most games now, as it's about 10 hours, and most of that time you're gonna be spent with Miss Marvel, Hulk, Black Widow, and Iron Man, because Thor and Captain America don't really come into any facet in the campaign until the very end of it. Now, does each Avenger feel like they should? Well, no, because Hulk can't really take anything in this game down in one hit, or even a basic combo. Okay, but again, this is an MCU game and stuff like that. Black Widow feels like she probably would, not having superpowers and having to rely on, her spy skills. And Captain America feels like himself, and Iron Man and Thor feel like themselves, in a way, as they both have flight, and their stuff, and Thor's stuff centered around Mjolnir a lot. But, so yeah, this game is not horrible, or just the gameplay. Graphics, it looks fine. I can tell you this game does actually run. Unlike with WWE 2K20, which it was a broken game upon release last year, this game is not broken. Well, at least not the version I played, because by the time I played it, which was last Thursday, it ran fine. It had a few technical issues, like a few audio hiccups, but it didn't actually crash. In fact, it's not crashed on me yet. So that's a plus there. That's a plus there, I can tell you. It hasn't crashed on me. Not that I would say games crashing can be an issue, because all games have a tendency to crash. They're a thing that you just cannot, that's hard to find in playtesting and bugging and debugging, but it is what it is. But this game has not crashed on me. So, do I think this game is worth the $60 they're asking for it now? No, I don't. I think that with a lot of these live games as a live service, the launch is always worse than the post-launch. I think after the post-launch, when more characters are introduced with the post-launch, then I think this game will get better. And you're not going to get another character till at least the end of October, which is Kate Bishop. And then after Kate Bishop comes Hawkeye. Now, I know that that in part, in one Marvel universe they're related, and in the other one they're not. I don't, look. I know about Hawkeye from the MCU. I don't know anything much else about Hawkeye past that, other than the fact that he's an expert marksman. And I'm assuming Kate Bishop is too. And then Spider-Man comes sometime 2021. Now, logically, that means anytime between January and December 2021. So we'll see about that. And that's only if you're playing on PlayStation. So, now that is a tad bit... Now, I agree that that's not fair. That's not fair to the PC or Xbox players. I do admit that. I admit that that's not fair at all. But that's just the way it goes. So I would actually wait to buy this game. Although, the game is fun. I actually am having fun playing it. Now, after the campaign, can it be a grind to get some of the high-level gear to help you do the higher-level missions that become available by yourself? Yes, because the game does not really want to ever give it to you. But again, this is a game where you're meant to do that kind of stuff to help you get better, not do those things at one time. At the time you can do it. So, but yeah, I have enjoyed my time with Avengers, and I'm still going to be going back to it, which is something that I haven't been able to say about a lot of games lately. In about maybe another week or two, I'll be back with a review of WWE 2K Battlegrounds, which comes out this Friday. So, that's my review of Marvel's Avengers. If you liked the video, like button down there, subscribe button down there, and thank you for watching. Bye.